I'm back. Missed games, 4, 5, and 6 for the Boston-Miami series. I've been out of town, going to some different weddings and things like that. I haven't been able to do any videos, but I'm back for Game 7. And it seems like I missed all the fun. Blowout, Miami wins 103-84 to advance to the NBA Finals, to where the Denver Nuggets are waiting on them. So, Miami wins this game 103-84. And I think they're going to sit here and they're going to talk about this game, and they're going to point to the number of three-point shots that Boston took and missed. They were 9 of 42 from three. That's going to be the story. That's what everybody's going to be talking about how many threes Boston took. But this isn't why Boston lost the game. We'll get into the three-point stuff here in a second. But the reason why Boston lost this game is because Jayson Tatum rolled his ankle on the first play of the game. And you saw him grimace the rest of the way through. He was not the same. He didn't attack the basket nearly as much. He was kind of used as a decoy. He wasn't himself. And look, when you're playing in a Game 7, where stars are supposed to show up and they're supposed to be great, and your best player, your star, your guy who was 5th in MVP voting this year, is hindered majorly due to the rolling of an ankle, I mean, it's hard for me to really even blame Boston for losing this game. It's hard for me to really even blame them for throwing up this many threes, right? And so, they're battling through it. They don't make a three in the entire first quarter. 0 of 10. But I felt like they were getting really good looks. I mean, Coach Spo even said it coming back into the second quarter. Ali LaForce makes the comment of, hey, they didn't make a three-point shot. What do you like about your defense? And Coach Spo even said it. He's like, they got some good looks, especially off of the offensive rebounds. That was the thing with them playing the zone, and I really think that's why Boston stayed in it in the first half, is just how many offensive rebounds they got. They were able to get some good looks off of offensive rebounds and things like that, and that's what happens when you play zone. It's much tougher to rebound, but the zone did its job. I mean, they took advantage of the ice-cold shooting from Boston as they held them to 84 points. And you could tell kind of early, Jimmy Butler kind of comes out. He coasts through the first 8 minutes of the game. Last 4 minutes of the first quarter, he kind of turns it on, starts to attack a little bit more, finishes with 6 points. Meanwhile, Caleb Martin has 7 points on 2 of 6 shooting. And he wouldn't miss again. He didn't miss in the second, third, or fourth quarter. He was incredible tonight. He was really the only bright spot, it felt like, in that first quarter. Despite being 2 of 6, you could feel his presence. You could feel the rebounding. You could feel the defense. I mean, it was really impressive. But the entire first quarter was ugly, 22-15. Miami shot 42% from the field. Boston shot 26% from the field. And then the second quarter starts. Miami comes out on a 5-0 run. They go up, 27-15. And Boston finally hits their first three with just under 10 minutes left. And then from there, Miami heats up from three. Okay, they go 4 for 5. They hit 4 out of their next 5 from 3. In the first 4 minutes, they go up 36-21. They start to slowly create separation. And then, Boston kind of brings it back. They're down by 11. But Miami just got really hot there in that second quarter and really created some space. And then going into the third quarter, Derek White comes out really, really aggressive. There was clearly something said like, hey, Jayson Tatum, he's not Tatum tonight. We got to have somebody else step up. And, it should be Derek White. He's really the only guy you trust to consistently go get his own shot with the ball in his hand. And he comes out, and he goes on a little mini run, and you look up. They're down 59-51. They cut it down to 8. And with 4 minutes left, 4 minutes, 20 seconds left, I wrote this note down. So this is either going to be the Caleb Martin or the Derek White game, because they both played outstanding. And then, Miami kind of goes on a short little mini run. Boston brings it back again. They're down by 10 going into the fourth quarter. It's 76-66. And Miami opens up the fourth quarter on a 7-0 run, and that was it. From that point on, 8 minutes in, it felt like Boston was desperately just throwing up threes. And up until that point, I really felt like they consistently got good looks. I didn't feel like they were just bombing away for no reason, right? I feel like a lot of the looks that Boston got were really good looks. I know people are going to look at the numbers and how they didn't make their threes, but like, this is a good three-point shooting team. Like, this is a team filled with guys who can knock it down from the outside, and tonight just wasn't their night, and that's the danger, right, of having to go to a Game 7, because sometimes in Game 7s you have nights like these. That's the danger of falling down 3-0. That's why it's so hard to come back when you're down 3-0, because you're due for a night like this at some point where you struggle to make shots, and it looked like that was going to be Game 6, right, where, you know, Derek White and Marcus Smart were really the only two guys who could make a shot, and they figured out a way to win. And then you figure, you know, they're due to make some shots tonight, and they never did. So before we wrap up here, we got to highlight specific players. Let's start with Caleb Martin. Arguably the most important guy, not the best guy. The most important guy in the series for Miami. He was consistently the other guy who showed up. 26 points, 11 of 14 from the field, 10 rebounds. He had a double-double. I mean, he was just everywhere. The defensive intensity was impressive too. Jimmy Butler finishes with 28 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds. You know, he just continues to be Jimmy Butler. He had a few really big threes where it felt like Boston was kind of gaining some momentum. He'd hit a big shot, and that's what superstars do. They hit big shots when they need to hit big shots. I thought Kyle Lowry off the bench was really good as well. It was a really good Kyle Lowry game. Just being annoying, getting up underneath guys, drawing cheap fouls, getting away with fouls because he was grabbing and holding guys, and he gets away with it about as much as anybody else in the league. And so, you know, you got these guys for Miami who really show up. And Boston, they just don't. We talked about Jayson Tatum. He finishes with 14 points. I mean, he only took 13 shots. I mean, usually he's closer somewhere between 20 and 25. Just the lack of aggressiveness, I think, speaks to the ankle injury. Still pulled down 11 rebounds. I thought he rebounded well. And then the other guy, Jaylen Brown. And the biggest issue with Jaylen Brown is the turnovers. He turned the ball over 8 times. Can't have that out of your second-best player in any game, yet alone a Game 7. I mean, that's a major issue. That's something he's got to work on, is getting past that second dribble. He dribbles the ball twice, and then he forgets how to. It's really quite puzzling. You know, we talked a little bit about Derek White. I thought he played well. And that's really it. They didn't get anything off the bench. Robert Williams, I thought, was good. I thought he defended Jimmy Butler well, finished around the rim. Did what Robert Williams always does. But outside of that, nothing from Boston. Nobody scored 20. I mean, it was just a bad shooting night. Sometimes that's what happens in Game 7s. You pair that with the injury to Jayson Tatum, and it just makes it really tough to beat anybody, yet alone a really well-coached Miami Heat team where Caleb Martin shoots 11 of 15 from the field and scores 26, along with Jimmy Butler's 28. So that's what we do here. Shooting the Schmidt. Congratulations to the Miami Heat on advancing to the NBA Finals. I'll have a Denver-Miami NBA Finals preview video up probably within the next couple days, obviously before Thursday. We're going to look to get that up. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, comment below. What did you think of the series? What do you think Miami's going to do against Denver? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to hear more from me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching the video. Talk to y'all again later.